Chapter 2. Leroy sat in the middle of the potato patch, picking a tick off his navel. He looked like baby Huey in the comics, and he was about as smart. But Leroy was my cousin, and in a dumb way, I loved him. We'd been sent out there to get potato bugs, but the sun was high and we were both tired of our chores. The grown-up women were in the house and the men were off working. That was the summer of 1956, and we were in such bad shape we had to live with the Denmans in Shiloh. I didn't know we were in bad shape. Besides, I liked being out there with Leroy, Ted, and all the animals. Leroy was 11, same age as me. He was the same height, only fat. I was skinny. Ted, Leroy's brother, was 13, and his voice was changing. Ted worked down at the Esso station, so Leroy and I were stuck with the potato bugs. "Molly, I don't want to pick bugs no more. We got 2 jars full. Let's go on down to Mrs. Hirschner's and get a soda." "Okay, but we got to go down by the gully where Ted wrecked the tractor or my mom will see us and make us get back to work." We crawled through the gully, past the rusty tractor, and out the drain pipe to the other side of the dirt road. Then we ran all the way to Mrs. Hirschner's tiny store, which had a faded knee-high soda sign with a thermometer on it tacked to the door. "Well, it's Leroy and Molly. You children been helping your mothers up there on the hill?" "Oh, yes, Mrs. Hirschner," Leroy droned. "We spent this whole day picking potato bugs so the potatoes will grow right." "Now, aren't you just sweet? Here, how about a chocolate tasty cake for each of you?" "Thank you, Mrs. Hirschner," in unison. "Can I get a scoop of raspberry ice cream for a nickel?" I grabbed my ice cream and walked out into the June sunshine. Leroy strolled out with a fudge ripple, and we sat on the worn flat wood planks of the porch. I spied an empty Sun-Maid raisin box, nearly perfect except the top was torn, lying there in the iridescent tar paper shavings in front of the store. "What you want that for?" "I got plans for this. You wait and see." "Come on, Ma. Tell me and I'll help you." "Can't tell you now. Here comes Barbara Spangenthau, and you know how she is." "Yeah, right. Gotta be a secret." "Hi, Barbara. What you doing?" Barbara mumbled something about a loaf of bread and disappeared inside. Barbara was Jewish, and Carrie was forever telling Leroy and me to keep away from her. She needn't have bothered. No one wanted to go near Barbara Spangenthau, because she always had her hand in her pants, playing with herself, and worse, she stank. Till I was 15, I thought being Jewish meant you walked around with your hand in your pants. Barbara rolled out of the store. She was even fatter than Leroy. Her arms full of Fischl's bread, she started down the footpath with all the honeysuckles. "Hey, Barbara, you seen Earl Stamback today?" "He was down by the pond. Why?" "'Cause I got a present for him. You see him, you tell him I'm looking for him. Here?" Barbara, filled with importance of her message, trotted down the road. Since she lived closest to the Stambacks, there was a good chance she'd deliver it. "What you want to give Earl Stamback a present for? Thought you hated him since forever." "I do hate him, and the present I got for him is something very special. You want to come with me while I get it?" Leroy fell over himself in enthusiasm, and he trailed me back over the fields like a duck after its mother, all the way babbling about what the present's going to be. We went into the cool woods, and I searched the ground. Leroy was looking at the ground, too, although he didn't know what he was looking for. "Ha! I got it. Now I'm going to fix him good." "I don't see nothing but a pile of rabbit turds. What you going to do?" "Come on and tell." "Just watch, Leroy, and shut your trap." I scooped up a handful of tiny, perfectly round rabbit turds and put them in the Sun-Maid raisin box. "Remember the dried raisins that Florence had out on the back porch? You go on down there and steal me a handful and come right back here." Leroy took off like a cement truck, his bulk shimmering in the afternoon sun. Within 10 minutes, he was back with a precious handful of honest raisins. I put them in the box and shook the contents hard. Then, swearing Leroy to eternal secrecy, I started through the woods to Carmine's fish pond to find Earl Stamback. He was down there all right, sitting there with a stick for a fishing pole, waiting for non-existent fish to bite a string with no bait on it. Earl was pretty stupid. The only way he made it through 4th grade was by brown-nosing the teacher. We were now going into 6th grade, and he still couldn't get beyond 5 on the multiplication tables. Florence said it was because the Stambacks had so many kids that none of them ate enough, so Earl's brain was starved. I didn't much care why he was stupid. I was too busy hating him. He was all the time ratting on me in school because I was breaking this rule or that rule. Last time, I was sent to Mr. Beaver's office for stealing tablets out of the supply room. That was 1 week before school ended, and I nearly didn't get out of 5th grade because of it. Earl might be stupid, but he learned how to survive, and he learned at my expense, the mealy-mouthed weasel. Earl heard us coming and looked up. A perplexed shadow ran across his face, because he must have thought I was going to whip him for sure. So I smiled and said, "Hey, Earl, hey, you catching anything?" "No, but I got a big bite just 5 minutes ago. Must have been a tuna because it was sure big." "Is that so? You must be a talented fisherman." Earl giggled and his left eye twitched. He couldn't figure there's no way. "Earl, I've been thinking that we gotta stop irritating each other. Now, you know I hate it when you stool on me, and I know you hate it when I get mad at you and lay for you on your way home from school. Why don't we call it a truce and be friends? I won't beat you up if you don't tell me when we go back to school." "Sure, Molly, sure. I'd like us to be friends, and I swear on a stack of Bibles I won't tell on you ever again." "Well, here, then I brought you a little present to make it legal. I just got them at Mrs. Hirschner's, 'cause I know you love raisins." "Thanks. Hey, thanks." Earl snatched the raisin box, tore off what was left of the top, and opened his mouth, tipped the box over, and gulped half the contents in one motion. Leroy started to laugh. I grabbed his left arm and gave him a pinch that would have ruined an orange. "You hush your mouth or I'll whip your ass," I hissed. "I ain't worried, Molly. I ain't gonna laugh." "What you two talking about?" "Oh, we was remarking how fast you eat, Earl. We ain't never seen anyone eat quite so fast. Why, you must be the fastest eater in all of York County. I bet you can finish off the rest of the box in half a second. Don't you think, Leroy?" "Yeah, Earl Stamback has got true speed. He eats even faster than my old man." Earl bloated up with all this praise, and he ruffled out his feathers. "Oh, I can do it in less than half a second. You watch me." One fierce swallow, and the sun-made raisin box was tossed into the pond. Earl was beaming and feeling big on himself. "Earl, how did those raisins taste?" "Like raisins. Some were mushy and bitter, though." "Mushy? Now ain't that the strangest thing?" Leroy exploded with laughter and fell down on the grass next to the pond. "Earl, you're so stupid. You know that, Earl? You are so stupid. Molly gave you a box full of rabbit turds mixed with raisins." Earl's face crumpled under the blow. "You didn't do that, did you, Molly?" "You bet I did, you sneaking fart. You ran on me one more time, and I'm going to do a whole lot worse, so you better lay off me, Earl Stamback. Let this be a lesson to you." I took a threatening step toward him for effect, but Earl was so green he wasn't worried about the outside of his body. "I won't ever tell on you again, I promise. I promise. Cross my heart and hope to die." "Die is the right word, boy. You button your fat lip, and if you even breathe a single word that I fed you rabbit turds, you've had it. Come on, Leroy. Let's leave him here, full of shit." We scurried over the pine needles, and Leroy was laughing so hard he could barely keep his footing. I turned around on the rim of the hill to look at Earl down by the edge of the pond, retching his guts out and crying at the same time. Fixed him good, I thought. I fixed him real good, and he deserves it. How come I don't feel good about it? "He ain't gonna bother you no more, Molly. You got him this time." "Shut up, Leroy. You shut up." Leroy stopped for a minute and looked at me with amazement, then shrugged his shoulders and said, We better get on back home before Carrie and the mouse come looking for us.